You know what finally made me rethink everything I thought I knew about storing root vegetables? I pulled a bag of carrots out of my garage last February. Carrots I'd grown myself, by the way, and they were rubber, just limp, sad, shriveled things. And I remember standing there thinking, I spent 5 months growing these, and I can't even keep them edible for 8 weeks. Meanwhile, I'd been visiting an Amish family down the road here in Lancaster County, and the wife pulled a bucket of carrots out from under their back porch in March, and they snapped clean when she broke one in half. Same variety, same soil, completely different result. That moment stuck with me, and it sent me down a path I've been on for the last 6 or 7 years now. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how Amish families store root vegetables without ever building a root cellar, and how you can do it with materials you probably already have. And stick around to the end because I'll share a dead simple Amish technique using nothing but a 5-gallon bucket and damp sand that kept my beets crisp well into April. Here's my confession. For most of my gardening life, I treated storage as an afterthought. I'd grow beautiful carrots, parsnips, beets, turnips, and then I'd toss them in a cardboard box in the garage or just leave them in the crisper drawer of the fridge. And honestly, it worked fine for a few weeks. But anything past Thanksgiving was a gamble. I figured if you didn't have a proper root cellar, concrete walls, ventilation, the whole setup, you were just out of luck for long-term storage. And I think a lot of gardeners feel that way. You see those Pinterest root cellars and think, well, I can't do that, so I guess I'll just eat what I can and let the rest go. But here's what I learned from Amish and Mennonite families in Lancaster County. They don't all have dedicated root cellars either. A lot of them, especially younger families or those on smaller plots, use a collection of simple, low-cost methods that work with the cold instead of trying to engineer around it. The principle behind it is one you hear over and over in these communities. Don't fight what the season gives you, use it. And here's where the science backs them up. Research out of Penn State Extension and Cornell has shown that most root vegetables store best between 32 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit with 90 to 95% humidity. You don't need a building to hit those numbers. You just need to understand where those conditions already exist on your property and how to protect the crop once it's there. The first thing Amish gardeners understand is that storage starts in the ground, not after harvest. Yet most conventional gardeners, myself included for years, pull everything out of the ground in one big fall harvest and then try to figure out where to put it. But an Amish neighbor of mine here in Lancaster County showed me something that changed my whole approach. He left his carrots, parsnips, and beets right in the ground well past the first frost. He wasn't being lazy, he was using the soil itself as a storage medium. The ground stays cooler and more humid than any garage or basement, especially once the surface freezes. What he did was simple. Once the first hard frost hit, and in zones 6 and 7, that's usually late October to mid-November, he'd lay down about 6 to 8 inches of straw mulch right over the bed. Not hay, straw. Hay has seeds and can bring in mice. The straw acts as an insulating blanket. It keeps the soil from freezing so hard that you can't dig, but it keeps temperatures right in that 33 to 38 degree sweet spot where roots stay dormant and crisp. And I started doing this myself about 5 years ago, and I've pulled perfect parsnips out of the ground in February. If you're in zones 3 through 5, you'll want to go heavier, 10 to 12 inches of straw, and you might add a layer of leaves underneath for extra insulation. In zones 8 and 9, you may not even need the mulch at all, but watch for soil temperatures climbing above 45 degrees because that'll wake the roots up and they'll start to go woody. Now here's where things really start to look different from a conventional approach. For vegetables, you do need to pull out of the ground. Things like potatoes, onions, winter squash. The Amish don't just toss them in a pile somewhere. They cure them first, and they take curing seriously. I watched an Amish family spread their onion harvest on wire racks under a covered porch for 3 full weeks. Not 3 days, 3 weeks. The skins dried down tight, the necks sealed off completely. And those onions lasted through March without a single soft spot. For potatoes, the process is similar but cooler. They cure them at around 45 to 55 degrees for about 10 days in a dark, ventilated spot. A covered porch, an unheated mudroom, a shaded barn aisle, anywhere air moves but sun doesn't reach. The science here is straightforward. Curing allows the skin to suberize. That's the formation of a corky protective layer that resists moisture loss and blocks pathogens. Skip the curing step, and you're basically putting a wound into storage. I'll be honest with you, I skipped curing for over a decade. I had no idea it mattered that much. The difference in storage life was night and day once I started doing it properly. This next piece is one that I completely overlooked for most of my gardening life. Where you store matters just as much as how you store. Amish families are incredibly intentional about using the microclimates on their property. They're not looking for one perfect storage room. They're matching each crop to the right spot based on what that crop needs. Potatoes go somewhere cool and dark. 35 to 40 degrees, moderate humidity. An unheated closet against a north-facing exterior wall works. Winter squash goes somewhere slightly warmer and drier, 50 to 55 degrees, lower humidity, a back bedroom they don't heat, the top shelf of a pantry away from the stove. Onions and garlic need cool and dry, 35 to 45 degrees, good airflow, low humidity, a mesh bag hanging in an unheated mudroom or a wire shelf in a cold garage. I asked a Mennonite friend of mine once why he stored his squash in the upstairs hallway and his potatoes in the basement stairwell, and he just looked at me and said, "Okay, because that's where they want to be." And he was right. Each of those spots hit the exact temperature and humidity window for that crop. You don't need a root cellar if you learn to read the cold spots in your own house. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, and you want more of these deep dives into how Amish and Mennonite families approach the garden differently, hit subscribe. I've got a lot more of these coming. Now let's keep going because the next method is one of my favorites, and this is where you start to see how it all connects. The Amish don't approach storage as something separate from how they grow. The soil health, the variety selection, the harvest timing, it's all one system. And the next method I want to share is a perfect example. It's called pit storage, and it's one of the oldest techniques still in regular use in Amish communities. You dig a hole, about 18 inches to 2 feet deep depending on your frost line, and line the bottom with a thick layer of straw about 4 to 6 inches. Then you layer in your root vegetables, carrots, beets, turnips, rutabagas, and pack damp straw or sand between them so no roots are touching. Top the whole thing with another 8 to 10 inches of straw, then mound soil over that. The mound sheds rain, the straw insulates, and the earth regulates temperature and humidity right into that ideal range. An Amish farmer I know in Lancaster County has used the same pit location for over 15 years. He told me the spot matters. Slight slope for drainage, north side of a building if you can manage it, and never in a low area that collects water. In zones 3 through 5, now you'll want to dig deeper, closer to 2.5 to 3 feet, and add more insulation on top. In zones 8 and 9, pit storage can still work, but you'll want to dig it in the shadiest spot you have and monitor soil temperature to make sure it stays below 45 degrees. Realistic first-year expectations are that you'll lose some of your crop to trial and error, maybe 10 to 15%. That's still far better than losing it all in your garage by January. Improve your location and technique each year, and those numbers come down fast, but I'd rather you start with honest expectations and be pleasantly surprised. This is the part that surprised me the most when I first learned it. Amish families also use what I'd call above-ground cold storage, containers and enclosures that take advantage of naturally cold air without any refrigeration. I've seen families use an unheated back porch enclosed with straw bales as walls, essentially creating a cold room out of materials that cost almost nothing. The straw bales buffer temperature swings. They keep things from freezing too hard on the coldest nights and keep things from warming too fast on sunny winter days. Inside, they'll stack crates of potatoes, bins of carrots and sand, and mesh bags of onions. I've seen these setups hold temperatures between 33 and 40 degrees from late November through March. Now, and I want to be upfront here because I think honesty matters more than hype. This method works best in zones 5 through 7 where you get consistent cold but not extreme deep freezes. If you're in zone 4 or colder, you'll need more insulation or you'll need to bring the containers inside a garage or barn. But the principle holds, you don't need electricity or a built structure. You need insulation, airflow, and the right location. Now let me walk you through a few patterns I've noticed, common habits that I followed myself for years that work against long-term storage. The first is harvesting too early. Most gardeners pull root vegetables as soon as they're big enough, but Amish families wait until after the first few frosts, and for good reason. Cold exposure triggers root vegetables to convert starches to sugars. That's not just about flavor. Those sugars act as a natural antifreeze that helps the roots survive storage at lower temperatures. I did this myself for years, pulling carrots in September when they were plenty big, and I couldn't figure out why they didn't last. Once I started waiting until late October, the difference was dramatic. The second pattern is storing damaged roots with sound ones. I used to toss everything in the same box. Nicked carrots, cracked beets, the works. One bad root introduces moisture and decay that spreads to everything around it. Amish families sort ruthlessly after harvest. Anything with damage gets eaten first or processed into canned goods. Only the cleanest, most intact roots go into long-term storage. No judgment here. I did this for over a decade before I learned better. The third pattern is washing before storage. I know it seems right. It seems clean and proper. But washing removes the thin layer of soil and the natural microbial coating that protects the root's skin. Every Amish family I've visited stores their roots unwashed. Just a gentle brush off to remove loose soil, and that's it. The fourth is neglecting airflow. Piling roots into sealed plastic bins or bags creates a humidity trap that breeds mold and rot. Amish storage, whether it's in a pit, a porch, or a sand bucket, always allows for some air exchange. It's part of the system. Everything connects. Now here's something I picked up from an Amish family right here in Lancaster County that I haven't seen in any gardening book or YouTube video. It's the 5-gallon bucket sand storage method, and it's the technique I teased at the beginning. You take a standard 5-gallon bucket, the kind you can get from any hardware store, and drill 4 or 5 small holes in the bottom for drainage. You fill the bottom with about 2 inches of slightly damp sand. Not wet. Damp. If you squeeze a handful and it holds its shape but doesn't drip, that's the right moisture. Then you lay your carrots or beets in a single layer, not touching each other, and cover them with another inch of damp sand. Keep layering roots, sand, until the bucket is full, finishing with a layer of sand on top. Set the bucket in the coldest spot you have, an unheated garage, a back porch, a basement stairwell, and loosely set the lid on top, not sealed. Loosely. That airflow matters. I started doing this 3 years ago, and I pulled crisp, snappable carrots out of a bucket in my garage in late March. The sand keeps the humidity right against the root surface while the drainage holes prevent standing water. It costs almost nothing, takes about 10 minutes to set up, and it works remarkably well. The Amish woman who showed me this told me her mother did it the same way, and her mother before that. Sometimes the simplest methods are the ones that last. And that's what I've learned from Amish and Mennonite families about storing root vegetables without a root cellar. You don't need a big build, you don't need equipment, you need to understand what your crops want, the right temperature, the right humidity, the right airflow, and then use what your property and your climate already give you. If any of this changed how you think about storing your harvest, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Tell me what you've tried, what's worked, what hasn't. I read every one of those. Hit subscribe if you want more of these deep dives into how traditional communities grow and store food with methods that have worked for generations. Thanks for spending time with me today. I'll see you in the next one.